Today I really wanted to do a tutorial on how to bake, contour, and highlight your face because I just find these videos really helpful, so I thought why not do my own. So right now I only have eye makeup and foundation on, and so I'm going to show you how I like to conceal and highlight that way, as well as bake and contour. So I'm just gonna jump right in because I want to add like a lot of tips and my personal preferences. So first I want to do my under eye concealer, and I have pretty prominent under eye circles, not at the moment because I have a lot of, at least my foundation on. And so I have used so many different under eye concealers in my lifetime, trying to find one that wouldn't look cakey or like crease under my eyes. And this is honestly my absolute favorite. It's really lightweight and it doesn't crease, and it's also like lighter than my skin color, which is really hard to find. So it actually does a highlight as well as concealer. So I usually just put a bit on the back of my hand, and then I'll go in. It's just like a flat brush. It doesn't really matter what kind of brush you use because I like to blend it with a beauty blender or my Real Technique sponge. I think this is the best way because it really blends that concealer out so it looks flawless and picks up any excess product so it doesn't look really cakey under your eyes. So I'm taking some on my brush and I'm going to put the concealer all the way under my eye area, all the way over to the end of my brows, and I'm going to go down to almost the bottom of my nose. Like, I'll show you with concealer. And I'm also kind of getting the sides of my nose as I do this. And then I'm just taking my Real Technique sponge and I'm blending it out I'm pressing, and this is damp by the way. You want to use a damp beauty blender if you're going to use one. You can always use a brush if that's your personal preference. But if you are using a sponge, you really want to make it damp because it's just not going to give the desired effect without. And I'm just going to do the same thing on my other eye, putting the concealer all the way to the side of my face, down my cheek area, and just I'm going to go ahead and also conceal the center of my face because if you're using a lighter shade in that under eye area, you really want to make sure you're also highlighting the center of your face, or else it's just going to be a little fake looking. You know what I mean? So I'm using my Naked Skin Urban Decay concealer in the color Fair. I really like this concealer because it's not drying, it looks really natural on the skin, it's really easy to blend, and it's actually lighter than my skin tone, which is again really hard to find in concealers, so it does provide a little bit of a highlight. And I'm putting that on my chin, my nose. Oh, okay, ignore that, it's not supposed to go on the side. We went over a little bit, and also this under my face. You can use less than this, but I kind of wanted to show like just where it's supposed to go. And then I'm taking my Real Technique sponge again, and I'm just using this other side to blend that out. And I'm pressing down and then kind of wiping, so it's like press, wipe. You know what I mean? I also, once I highlight everything I want highlighted, I go in with a powder that's slightly lighter than my skin tone, and I just like to set it. So I'm going to take this sponge again. I know I'm going to get kind of some hate about this because I know there's like, don't use the same sponge as your powder. I don't see a difference, honestly, but whatever. And I'm just going to slightly dab it in that dry area. I like to use a sponge for this just because it really blends out that product well, and so it doesn't look, it's like stops it from looking cakey under my eye area, but it also gives like a really natural coverage for over that concealer. I'm gonna go ahead and contour now. And because I am really pale and I know the struggles of trying to find a bronzer or a contour shade that doesn't make you look orange or like too over the top crazy, I am just going to give you some of my favorite products to use when contouring or bronzing my face. My top favorite is definitely the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil. I think this looks so natural on the skin. It's my favorite. It's really light. You'll see? Kind of, right? It's a lot lighter than a lot of the bronzers and contour shades I have, which I really like. It's so natural, you can't really overdo it. This is mostly a contour shade. Well, duh, but because it's from the contour kit. And this is in the color Fawn. This is a really light, natural brown. Okay, yeah, okay, good. I thought I used the same finger and I was like, brown shade, as you can see. I think it looks really good on pale skin because it is so natural and it's not too dark for pale skin. So that's just another one of my favorites. Here, this is really popular and I can totally understand why. It's the Hoola Benefit Bronzer. It really does look good on every single skin color. I've seen darker people use this and it looks amazing. And I use it and I don't think it looks too orange on the skin tone, honestly. It's very, I wouldn't say natural, it is darker than some of these other ones I just showed, but it's still not too dark. So you can really work with this with pale skin and really blend it well into your face. I was going to go into more detail, but I saw the time. This lastly is the Chocolate Soleil, and I'm just saying showing this because I'm probably going to be using it today because I want you to really see what I'm going to be doing when I contour. It is darker than the Milk Chocolate Soleil because it is the chocolate one. It's a medium deep matte bronzer. I only have a sample shade because I just wanted to see how it would look on my skin color. I really like it still. It's like not too dark, but if I was going to pick between one of them just for my skin color, it had to be the milk chocolate one, obviously. But this is for if I wanted a little more drama, if it's the summertime and I do happen to somehow get a tan, which doesn't really happen. But I'm going to use this today because I want to show you where I'm putting this contour and what I'm doing. And I'm using my Morphe E4 brush. This is my favorite contour brush ever. I think it's just amazing. I use this every day. I love it. And I'm just going to take a little bit in that, or just a lot, whatever. And I'm going to start on the back near my ear of my cheekbone, and you can find your halls of your cheeks, I'm sorry. You can find them by just sucking in your face like a fish. And I'm just kind of slightly brushing that in that area. But I'm going to really press harder in this back area because I don't want it to be dark down here because it's not natural for that to be like that. You know what I mean? And I'm just going to start blending it away, so I'm going to go back and forth a lot. And since I am doing a tutorial on baking as well, right now, today, in this video, I'm not going to be too worried about where the placement is, because I will show you how you can really clean up that contour line. But I'm just going to tell you that it is supposed to be in the hollows of your cheeks. And you don't want to get too down in your mouth. I would say like right here you should stop, maybe even sooner. And now I'm kind of also lifting it up past that area right here where my hollows of the cheeks started. And I'm kind of going up near that brow area on the sides of my face. See, contouring or bronzing your face is just really going to make your cheekbones more, it will add shape to your face. Let's just put it that way before I start making a fool of myself. And then I'm going to do the forehead by putting it around the forehead. I'm swiping into the hairline. I don't want to swipe, blend it into like near my eyebrows, or else I'm really just going to lose any contour shape. And I'm also going to go down to meet that other contour. I don't want like one to stop and one to start here. Like, I want it to look more natural. And I'm doing the same on this side, as you can see. I am also kind of going to the top of my head, not too much though. I'm not putting like more product right here. Because I'm just focusing on the sides of my forehead, but I don't want it to like just stop here and like it will look less natural that way. So I'm kind of meeting in the middle, but not really, because I don't have much product left on my brush. I'm really just focusing on blending everything out. We are going to go back to that under eye area before we start actually baking. And I'm mixing two shades. I just got the Kat Von D contour palette. I don't know what the actual name is. And I like to use this lightest color over here. And I like to mix it with my MAC, I forgot what the name is, Emphasize, because this is even whiter than that shade. I like to use the MAC 159 brush. It's like this. I got it actually as a foundation brush because the lady recommended it. I personally like to use it under my eye area because it is really precise in my opinion. And I'm mixing these two shades. I'm getting a pretty decent amount, and then I'm brushing under my eye. I'm really not patting. Okay, I kind of am. I'm not patting. Oh wait, no I am. Just kidding. I'm brushing and slightly patting. I'm patting the areas that I want extra coverage, but brushing to blend it out more, if that makes sense. Once I've done that, I'm going to bake. And I'm going to again use this Real Technique sponge. I didn't realize how much I use it. I probably need another one for this powder sections. But I'm going to use my Studio Prep and Prime, and I'm going to slightly spray this side of the sponge. Not too much, but enough that I can pick up powder and really cake it where I want it to go really well. And then I'm taking my Laura Mercier powder. This is a lot of people's favorites, and I see why. It is amazing. It looks so natural even when you're caking on this powder when you're baking. And I'm just tapping some out into this cap. I'm probably going to need to get some more out because baking requires a lot of powder. And I'm going to start by placing it where I want it in my under eye area. So as you can see, I have like a lot on. This is not where you should be light-handed. Yep, I need more. It's a little hard to see because I am so pale, but I have patted it where I just put like all the other product. Here, I put more on. And I'm just going to let it sit once I have it. And I'm taking more and putting it on the other side. Alright, so I caked it under my eye area. And what this is going to do is it's just going to really make sure you don't crease in the under eye area, and it's going to add some extra highlight. And yes, it even works for people with really pale skin like me. And then I'm also going to really sharpen this contour with this same process, and I'm just going under the hollows of my cheeks by sucking in. And then again, this will also make your foundation or concealer not budge like all day. I'm getting powder everywhere. This is a mess. I've actually never used it this much, but I really wanted to show you what it looks like on camera, and it's kind of difficult. And I'm also putting it in my chin area. I'm not putting as much as I did in some of the other areas because I don't really need that much. I just want to add some highlight there. I'm putting it on the bridge of my nose and the center of my forehead, kind of blending it out to above my eyebrows. In and brush away the powder. And what I'm going to do is, you can really just take a brush and just brush it away if you really want to. I'm going to add more cover, so I'm going to use the same two shades that I did before I put the powder on. It's the same brush, and I'm going to start brushing this away really slowly. So as I brush, I'm also covering. So I'm pressing and then wiping, just following this motion. And then I'm also kind of dabbing in this under eye area because I really want to work that powder in, make sure there isn't any creasing. And for under, to sharpen that contour line, I'm mostly going to brush because I'm not really worried about anything creasing here. I'm really going to blend that out. If you did go too far down with that contour, you could have put powder around your mouth area. I didn't really need to, but I am taking some powder and making sure it isn't going too far down. My favorite technique is mixing together Champagne Pop, which is this really golden highlight, with Ice Queen by Makeup Geek, and because this is like a white shimmery color, I think they balance each other out on my really pale skin. So this is my favorite technique, and I like to use a small blending brush to really focus that onto my cheekbones, and I'm using the Morphe 502 brush. So I take some of this, tap it out, take some Ice Queen, and start on that cheekbone, which is, you can really feel it out, it's just like this bone that should be like right under your eye area, above that, the hollows of your cheeks, like the main part of your cheek where you put the blush. So if you do need to press harder to feel out your cheekbone, make sure you're following along it, you can do that. It's really not gonna matter too much, as long as you blend it all out. And I am all blended out. Put some on my Cupid's bow, maybe the tip of my nose, and that's all. Alright, that's it for today's video. I hope you really liked it. I had a lot of fun doing this how-to tutorial. I can definitely do one for foundation, or a basic smoky eye, eyebrows even. If you would like that, just leave in the comments and I will for sure do it. Your wish is my command. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I would really appreciate the support. Comment, give some thumbs up, please. Bye!